Warning: this podcast may contain adult content or language. It also might contain content that could be seen from others as uncomfortable or upsetting due to personal reasons. If that is the case, then please proceed with caution or stop the video, as we at the table are comfortable in most circumstances. This is a safety blanket meant for all individuals watching these episodes, as it is unclear what story content will be displayed. Hope you enjoy the story.
So what are you gonna do about the rest of us then?
Like a sea hag, but a night hag.
Alright, I'm gonna do a link stab.
Do not cause trouble. This is trouble. I'm about to get bitch slapped by a halfling. Grabs him, pulls out Moon Shadow, and holds it to his neck.
Let's get a busy signal.
So you begin communing.
The ground is eating a troll. I don't like this ground. Oh yeah, I just completely forgot it.
So what do I need to roll?
You can see Rex literally eating his dice.
Yeah!
Use that frying pan as a drying pan.
Rapier stab!
You use your action to cast fly.
Fuck!
I can't.
Convey a message of what the fuck are you saying? Be quiet. I'm gonna tackle that troll and maul it to death, hopefully. I'll observe.
Got disadvantage on it. That's a 2.
You stab the one you were talking to. You hear yes. Those that are looking back, all you hear is no. You look at Ryder, nothing. You look at everyone else, turn back. He has a shovel. Great God's War Call.
I am Zacchaeus Fells, the Tieflinger.
How? I don't understand how that's happening. Continue on.
Jacqueline Ash River, and your service.
Felix Lysander.
Gopher. Rex Rivers here.
And I'm your DM. Welcome back to Misrolled Adventures, where the players make plans and somewhat execute them. Last episode, they actually made a very long and tedious plan about going invisible, and decided to use said plan of going invisible.
Doesn't make sense. This doesn't feel well.
It took a long time to get to the door.
15 minutes.
15 minutes of talking about invisibility.
How does it work?
But when we last left off, the players made a plan to go and investigate the house. After figuring out which houses were the one to go and do, they went back to see if there was any resources from Enchanting Divine that was finished.
Oh.
They only had the rapier that Ryder had purchased finished, so he now has his currently enchanted rapier. However, the rest of the 2 items were still going to take at least 2 days to finish. Then, using that notion, they went to the house. Felix and Jacqueline both went invisible as Mouse Karis was hiding inside of certain portions of Jacqueline's clothing.
Pocket.
Yeah.
Pocket. Yeah, there we go. That works. Pocket. But investigating around, they found nobody in the house. A lot of gold armor-plated statues, all of which seem to be identical in certain ways, with just minor discrepancies about the stonework. Paintings that looked of people, portraits, scenery. One painting specifically had a single sigil that seemed to be some kind of magically enhanced portion of this painting. And then they decided to leave, except for Zacchaeus, who investigated another certain portion of the room a second time to find out that to figure out the photo of someone who bared very similar likeness to his mother at a younger age. In said room as well, he turned back into his person, took the music box that seemed to have dwelled inside of that room, and then dumped it into a pond. And then decided to leave. From there, everyone went their, realistically, various separate ways to relax and sleep. And that's where we last left off. You guys explored the house some and didn't find anything noteworthy initially, as you did not explore many of the rooms. And when they went to sleep, Gopher and Felix, you two wake up to crying.
That's scary,
What?
Yeah, you can very audibly hear crying.
Anything for him?
That's fucking scary.
Nothing of his. Everyone got a nice solid sleep and rest in, but you just hear a woman crying.
That's like a scary movie.
It's clearly coming out of the room.
Even more scary. What do you mean?
How is the crying? We're in a room and it's coming
Outside of the door.
Okay. That wording makes sense.
Outside of the room?
You didn't say outside.
I
you
did
said
say.
Out of.
You did say out of.
Okay, regardless, it's coming outside of the room.
Okay.
Felix, this is scary, man.
Well, I open the door to go figure out what's going on.
Yeah, the moment you open the door, you can clearly see there is a fairly older, like woman. Clearly about, she's human as well. Maybe in her mid to late 50s or 60s. And she's crying as because you guys went back to a different inn, right?
Yeah.
The man that had helped assist you find the room, after a quick investigation, he has also gone missing.
Oh, shit. So you open the door.
Yeah. I learned all that because it's from what's being said out there.
Yeah, people are like asking her what's wrong. She's just like, he's gone. I don't know where he went. He never came back home.
Close the door. Walk over to Cove and be like, this is the second innkeeper you stayed with that's disappeared, correct?
Yeah.
Because they mentioned the first
The first one that was missing.
I
You think this is a coincidence?
hope it is. But to be safe, I think we need to leave.
I think so too.
So, yeah, you guys basically can walk out. Nobody's going to stop you.
Alright.
No reason to be stopped.
We'll walk out.
Do you get any food, or do you just leave?
Okay,
Just
food in the street.
Just book it, find some food.
Fuck this place.
For about a silver, you can get a good solid meal in, just from the various different
I was going to say
things.
fish sticks.
Fish sticks. It's still early, so they're not fully cooked yet. But after like a few minutes, you get some good char broiled and everything. Everyone else, what are you guys doing? You guys waking up?
It's time to go explore the mansion more.
Okay, got what?
Wait a second.
You and me are the only ones in the same
Ryder's
place.
also there too.
Oh, me, and Ryder are the only ones in the same place, and we haven't said we were going to meet up yet. So what are you talking about?
I'm gonna go infiltrate the mansion.
Slamming her hand onto a countertop somewhere.
Don't
No,
scare the
that's-
kids.
That was me physically as the player slamming a piece of thing of duct tape on the table. Calvin, damn it!
Okay, what do you want to do?
Well, first, I feel like we should go meet up with everyone else since we all went our separate ways. Did we say where we're meeting?
No, we did not say. I'm gonna guess we're gonna meet at the central town
The archives again?
with the archives.
Alright. Make our way over to the archives.
Felix and Gopher, you guys going the same way?
Yeah.
Zakaris, what are you doing? As you are the only one on by yourself over at Storm's Hollow.
Angrily, maybe.
Angrily drinking.
Pissed off drinking.
Drank through the
Uh,
night. Jesus.
No one came back here.
None of your friends did? No.
Figures.
Technically, we didn't know where you went.
Yeah. We had no idea.
You could tell us you slept in the street for all we could, and we believe you.
I don't know if I know where they would go.
Well, what would Zakaris know?
We never agreed to anything.
Nope.
Yeah. I guess he'll just go back to the mansion.
Okay.
And just leave.
So while all of you are going over to the archive, Zakaris, you are drunkenly leaving. Not really drunk, more of just a little bit hungover, as the strong alcohol definitely was coursing through your system. Make a perception check.
That is 21.
Okay, as you're making your way there, going from basically one corner of the city to the other corner of the city, you're hearing people whisper, gossip, and talk amongst themselves about something different than the normal gossip that you've been hearing. They consistently are talking about people vanishing. That the innkeeper to the south had been taken, and he's the fourth victim in 2 days.
I listen to them, but I don't stop and interject into the conversation.
Okay.
I don't really have a whole lot to say about it. I guess I just listen to what they have to say, and if I hear anything important, I guess I'll relay it to the group when I find.
No, other than that, they're just talking about the other individuals who were taken. One was someone from the port, and the other one looked to be like a child that was taken who was following an animal at night. Other than that, you don't gather anything else that's interesting.
Okay.
So you make it to the mansion. The rest of you are in front of the archive as you have now met up. No Zakaris.
What happened to Sorcerers?
I mean, he never came back. I don't know.
So it was just a random mouse that you could just brought along.
But besides, that doesn't really matter now, does it?
No.
The task at hand is where did he go?
I'm gonna assume he's gonna be back in mansion waiting for us because we're about to infiltrate
Hopefully.
it.
Why would you assume that?
I mean, it's the best we got.
That's the best we got at
Yeah.
our last location that we met up.
His house.
Before we separate.
Why
Before we
would
separate.
It's
What is our plan for the mansion? Are we going to infiltrate it tonight? Why would he go there now?
I mean, if he has nothing better to do, might as well wait near it. Maybe see something. I don't know what he's thinking, to tell you the truth. He never joined back up with us last night.
know what he's thinking.
But
So we're gonna infiltrate.
Ryder, what say you? You hang around him a lot. What would he do? Mr. Not Here.
Ryder's also not here.
There he is. He came with me in the Rex.
Yeah.
Or did he?
He did, I think. I would say.
Looking down his crotch.
Looked at his instrument as it kind of fell into his shoe.
His instruments.
I dropped the bomb shoe on the ground. That's all that happened.
And that's where it's a character from.
He fell on the floor.
He was a mouse the entire time in his shoe.
No, mansion sounds to be the most useful. Even if he's not there, we can still check to see if anything changed at the mansion.
Alright.
So
Yeah, but
To the mansion then.
where'd you guys end up staying?
that one place where they have a lot of people and weapons.
Anything happen there? Anyone disappear?
No, it's not recently.
Why?
Why you? Yeah.
So you know how they went back to the one inn last time?
Did they tell us about that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because Gopher heard it and then it explained it to everyone.
So
Heard about
Yeah.
the first
But-
guy?
Yeah, the
Yeah,
first
but-
guys.
Oh, okay.
So we went to a different hotel inn last night. So for both inns we stayed at, the owners disappeared.
The owner disappeared.
Yep.
I think we have to start being more careful about where we go.
Even into these two inns.
Both the inns I've stayed at, the innkeepers have been.
No, the
Kidnapped.
first night it was just you and who else
Ryder.
went back? Just you and
Yeah.
Ryder stayed there.
Then me and him went to a different one last night, and they disappeared.
It's not me, I swear. I'm not doing this.
Make an intelligence check. No, I'm kidding.
It's the hag curse.
It's that.
She's
Eating
targeting
people.
Tyler?
That's why she
The curse is becoming more powerful each day.
That is a different problem that we might have to address later. But right now we have more pressing issues.
To the mansion.
And perhaps
You
in
think-
the mansion we'll find the reason why
Yeah, they could
such
be
things
connected.
are happening.
It could be.
Maybe.
So to the mansion then?
To the mansion.
Alright, onward.
All right, so you guys are heading over to the mansion.
Mm-hmm.
Making your way there. It doesn't take you very long, and after some time, you do make it there. It takes about a half hour in total. But yeah, doesn't seem like anything's changed in first appearances. Zacchaeus, where would you have been hiding when you'd gotten here?
I probably would have just been stood on the street somewhere around the mansion, but not directly in front.
Okay. Yeah, you guys can spot him. He's not really like hidden or anything, and kind of stands out being a 400-pound tiefling in a robe. Kind of visible. Just a tad bit. So you can see Zacchaeus. He's kind of like up against the wall, patiently waiting.
So, Sakaris, how long you been here?
Oh, so,
Yeah, so.
not very long.
You don't have to lie.
You're right, I never left.
You've been here the whole time? So, since you've been here the whole time, any recent changes?
Holy shit.
Nothing. Nothing has happened. Absolutely nothing.
Did you see anyone come in or out?
No.
Have you, for whatever reason, heard anything about disappearances? You were-
Yes, there's been 4 of them.
4?
Four.
I was listening to the locals, and they said that a child or someone small was taken.
So.
It doesn't seem to be you.
Lion keepers, a child, and then another one.
So, Gopher, you're safe.
Well, I don't.
I promise it's not me.
I don't think you specifically was the problem. Perfect. But
You are
I
so
feel
lucky
like
that is empty.
we may.
I think we have to check this mansion, guys.
Well, I think we could ask around about, like, what people would know.
Not
about
because
this
we have
people.
2 situations different right now. Missing people and this guy.
They could be related.
Yeah. Well,
Yes, the strange.
we should wait to do the infiltration till night anyway.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Why?
We can't get all of us in there with invisibility.
And it's broad daylight outside.
Yeah. So it's going to be easier to sneak in at night.
And we're talking about it in front of
You're super smart with silver.
Into that.
And we're also talking in front of the mansion about infiltrating the mansion. I almost feel like this type of situation about a heist might have happened a various time ago, about talking about heisting the same shop of sitting inside of
We
a
were
heist.
sitting
Hey,
in
what are you talking about? That never happened.
Gopher, what's the last time you drink?
I have been sober for 2 days, guys.
This is an issue.
Don't you have your liquor skin?
I do, but that is empty. It's
empty.
empty. I drank that.
It was gone.
It's gone.
I sleep drink it.
Yeah. So I would advise that we would either gather more information on the missing people or find another.
I'll follow you guys' lead.
Yeah, let's see what we can pick up about these disappearances.
Yeah. We have all
Because I don't like how they've somewhat been following us. half of them have seemed to have followed us.
So where are you guys going to investigate this then?
Just like by the. I'm gonna go by one of the two inns.
Okay. Which one? The south or
the newest development?
Okay. So yeah,
Yeah, I'll go with you.
Okay, yeah. Felix will help
Both
direct
you.
you.
Want to come with?
I was gonna say we could check out the inn we stayed at last night.
That's the one I'm going to.
Okay,
we're
yeah,
doing.
we'll go with it. I'll go with it.
Okay.
Do
So-
either of you want to go check the old one, or do you want to join us?
I'll go check the old one.
I'll go with Sorcerers.
I guess I'll go and ask the port then. For the person on there.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Sounds good.
All right. She starts to skulk into the
It
distance.
would seem as if the one most
I mean, you could join them at the inn and then walk to the.
Too bad he's
It's
walking
on
right
the
now.
He's already gone.
Yeah. Yeah.
He has advantage on gossip gathering, so all those are interesting numbers. Figure that out later. All right, so you guys go to your respective inns.
just leisurely walking around.
Yeah, you're not hearing anything, picking up anything that's interesting, apart from what was already told to you just now. It seems like there's a lot of unrest right now in the city, as there's been explosions from the sparks, the threat of the cultists at every turn, money being stolen, and now people being stolen. It's not a pleasant time currently in Waterdeep, and everyone is on edge.
I whispered to Jacqueline, I think now's the best time for a heist.
No time is the best time for a heist.
Fuck.
Do you want to get yourself killed if you're caught by the guards?
The only heist that'll be happening around here is the heist of your head from your shoulders if you keep that up.
That'll be
No.
a heist.
That's actually a hoist as they lift up the head.
The demon heist.
I'll be taking his head. I won't be posting it.
God has a
Yeah.
point.
We'll be taking
That'll
it.
actually
God has a point.
God.
Anyways,
What was that voice you just heard?
so going into the inn and looking
Nice.
around, we'll start with the newest inn. So Jacqueline, you've never seen this inn before. It's pretty like mellow. A lot less people are here, other than what seem to be a few guards now. A fairly older woman, and doesn't seem to be any patrons inside of the inn currently.
Looking around, do I see a guard that might look to be the head guard or anything? In charge of like this group?
You can tell that one of them seems to be probably older. From what you've encountered, there's not really a head figure in the guards currently.
Most experienced.
Yeah, he looks to be the most experienced, being his age, as there have been varying ages. He seems to be half-orcish himself. One of his tusks is actually slightly damaged, and he stands with a much broader posture than the two other guards, who seem to be a bit younger, probably in their young 20s. Maybe one of them is in their mid-20s.
Okay. And they just look to be like the same kind of guards that were out in front of the
Yeah, they're wearing
gates and
like
stuff. They're just like city guard.
yeah, they're wearing chain shirts, and they have like a long sword at their hilts.
Okay. I will go up to the half-orc individual and ask, "Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
We were hearing around about sudden disappearances of certain individuals."
As you say that, the woman that's there just bawls crying and just, "He's gone!"
Oh, that's
Man, looking like it's not me this time.
Hey, my phone didn't ring because someone texted me. It is 9 o'clock and I need to find where I put my browser.
But he stands there. She's just bawling her eyes again. He places a hand onto her head and just tries to calm her. We're going to find him.
Dreadfully
Fine.
sorry. Dreadfully sorry to ring.
As you can tell, clearly somebody is missing. Not exactly sure who, other than it's her son.
Okay. Were you called in any other time about a similar disturbance?
Recently today, we found a child was taken. Yesterday, someone from the port, a man, was taken. They found his ship completely unmanned, the rest of his crew, as he was meant to tailor to the rest of the ship. And the innkeeper in the Storm's Hollow, the dwarven man, was taken as well.
don't mean to pry, but any other details you were told that you found?
And we have nothing to go off of, and we don't know when they're being taken apart from being taken at night. We don't have any other clues.
Is there any connection between these individuals, or do they seem random?
I don't know how you'd be able to equate a child with a dwarf, other than height in some circumstances. I'm not sure how you'd equate a young, maybe 25-year-old to the same age as the sailor who was in his mid-30s. Different jobs, different lifestyles, different ages. It's drastically different. We haven't been able to find any connection unless you have something to add in.
No, I don't.
Do you know like a little bit of background on these
Oh,
people?
I completely forgot to ask the very obvious question. When was the first victim taken?
Okay, well, we're going to go with his first.
Okay.
What would you say again?
Like, do you know any background on these people? Like, what do they do for a living? Like,
Well,
besides the shop, running the inn,
Being a
Running
child.
the inn, running the inn,
Being a
Running
child
a
and
ship.
working on a ship.
yeah.
and being a child.
Seems like they got the gist of that pretty well.
I mean, they could be doing sketchy stuff too, but
We haven't found anything. The ship,
Child.
other than the child, had stayed in that the Haven location where everyone tends to go if they don't have a place to stay.
Wait, that's where the child was from?
That's where the child was. Yes, the sailor was taking produce out of the ship as that was the last import of it. They left all the product there, just took the individual, unless he fled city for some reason. The innkeeper of Storm's Hollow was a fairly well-renowned individual. People knew him by name, by heart. And this is not putting it into rude terms, a smaller location. So that's as far as I can gather on who or what they've done. And you were asking when the first person was taken last night. Well, 2 nights ago, technically. The child and the sailor were taken this morning. Or no, not the sailor. It was the innkeeper. It was this
She's
innkeeper.
balling
Yeah, she's...
This completely forgot.
And the other innkeeper as well as the sailor were taken 2 nights ago.
That is disturbing.
Why is that?
No reason in particular. Just
I mean,
we just
I feel it's always disturbing when a child's
Yeah, I
taken.
mean, when people disappear, it's always disturbing. But the fact that it seems completely random. 2 people per night, and started 2 nights ago?
Let's ask the lady what her husband was doing that night.
Son.
Her son. Her child. We're talking about like 4 different people.
Everyone just is getting everything wrong about her son. She's just dying of grief.
No,
Your husband was taken 2 nights ago.
He's been dead for
This
4
goblin man was stolen.
years.
This goblin man is gone, and you know.
Oh my god. He just was working and went to take care of some waste. He was throwing out a few articles of food that were left over, some scraps, and he didn't come back inside.
Where would he do that?
Over by just around the corner of this long stretch of homes. It's nothing far, maybe a minute to get to.
Was something on his mind before he left, or?
No, I mean, it's been stressful with the city, but that's on everyone's mind.
That's what we gather.
Thank you for your time.
Let's go
Sorry to
look.
pry.
Just find him, please. I don't know what I'll do without him.
I mean, let's go look around where he was going.
Yes. Maybe we can find something over there.
town.
Okay, so while you guys are heading over there, Rex and Zacharis and yeah.
Time.
What?
I love it how the guards don't even question like the 3 random fucking people just asking about all these
Right,
people and being
yeah.
like, let's go investigate. No, it's not nothing.
I mean, the guard might not have heard that portion of it. He's
Oh.
definitely been quizzical about the individuals approaching him, just asking about it. But he's also with 2 naive other guards. He's probably not gonna try to do anything right now about that type of
I'd
behavior.
probably tell him good luck.
And they've also seen Felix before. They've been here for a year. They've seen Felix at least once or twice.
Yeah, I'd probably say hi and mention that.
Yeah, they probably don't know him by name or anything, and vice versa, but they know they've at least seen that citizen for at least a year.
I want this to stop. I will. If I have to get dirty, I will.
Dirty. But so Rex and Zacharis, you're going back to Storm's Hollow. Making your way there and inside, there is the Zacharis. You've seen him before. The younger man behind the counter is still there.
I go sit down at the bar.
Join them.
Okay, as you both sit down at the bar, the young man approaches you. So, welcome back. What do you need? It's 6 in the morning or somewhere around that time, so I wouldn't recommend anything too strong unless you have anything else that you wanted to do today.
It's 5 a.m. Sunday.
Yeah, 23 hours ago.
Just a glass of water, please.
A little bit of a hangover, I see. Pours a glass of water, hands it to you.
Thank you. Couple questions for you. I promise they won't take up too much.
Well, that's alright. If there's anything that you need from me, feel free to ask.
How long have you been working here for? I don't think I've seen you around here before.
Well, I've been the busboy for a better part of a few months, but with my employer missing, I need to take up the reins in some way.
What happened to him?
He just vanished. He left to go, did something with one of his friends, and then the friend came back saying that he couldn't find him.
Who's this friend that he go with?
It was one of his old sailor friends from the boats. I don't actually know his name much. I don't know much about the Dwarven man myself, but
Did he say anything where he lost something?
they just went down to the ports and they didn't find him. They went down. The friend turned around to speak to someone or shout at something. I think it was like a scavenger trying to pick out a few things from a ship, and then he turned back and the innkeeper was gone.
That quick. Scarce.
Did your employer owe money or anything to anybody?
No, this inn does fairly well, and he, being who he is, has been a lot stricter about who he gives money out to, and vice versa. He doesn't like to borrow things.
Did you have any enemies that would like to see him just...
Not that I know of. I mean, I only went around gathering the plates and such. I don't know too much about him.
Was he the owner of this place?
Mm-hmm. He was. He has owned it for a number of years. Can't actually quite know how long it was.
He married, have any kids or anything?
No, he was came from the rocky plateaus across the continent here, and he just traveled alone. Didn't seem to marry. So he's all alone as far as I can tell.
We're done here, Sicarius. I think it was all the information we got.
I nod to Rex and I pull out a gold piece and put it on the counter.
The water's free. You don't need to pay.
Now it's for you. Look after yourself.
Oh, well, thank you. I'll do what I can. I mean, I've only been here for a few months, so it's been a bit hectic.
If you hear anything, scream, I guess, and we'll...
We both will try to be there.
I don't think that's very comforting, to be honest.
That may not be but that gold.
Take
Take comfort in money, my friend.
Gold is at least 10 solid drinks.
So,
Solid
where should we go next?
And real unconscious.
I'm real unconscious, at least for 24 hours. So, what are you guys doing?
Should we go look around the port?
Should go look for this this man that we were told about. This.
Okay. So, you guys are heading to the port. What are the three of you guys doing?
We're going to investigate where he are and keep him.
Okay, right. So, you would get there before they do. So, when you're going around the building, it is very fast. It is easily maybe a minute away. And there seems to be a large amount of waste that's been compiled here. It seems that, though it's very filled, it seems that there's some whirring sounds that come from like the trash bin that's there. And you can see like the trash kind of swifting and swaying in it. But apart from that, nothing else seems to be happening. There does seem to be some bags that are set in front of it. They aren't necessarily interesting.
I'm just gonna do a general arcane check, see if I can spot anything
Okay. Go make
unusually magical.
Go ahead and make an Arcana check. You're good at Arcana though. You got +7 to it.
Correct, so that is 15. Correct, 7.
15's good. You can tell that these waste bins as well are also being native to the city. They are a sort of like recycling device. When the trash bags are put into it, they sift around to find any material waste, like glassware or anything that's not decomposable, and it will sift it out into a different portion, which seems to filter into the bags directly in front of it, while the rest of it then becomes mulched down and then produced back into the land. So you would know that the arcane symbols that are on this trash bin seem to be for that nature. You don't spot anything else different.
I don't like feel anything.
No. You make an investigation check to see if there's any markings or anything odd about
Any
that.
signs of like a scuffle?
Mm-hmm.
I will also make that investigation check.
Okay, go ahead.
I'll give you.
No,
Gonna
it's a
join
6.
Yeah, I'll do it.
That's a face. What's your total?
9.
Alright, that's better than mine.
6. So 6 and 9.
22.
Yeah, I saw the double-digit number. Yeah. So while you guys are looking around, the whirring of the trash bin's kind of disorienting you, and it's just kind of getting a little bit louder and louder, and then you hear as a bunch of glass and just destroyed material filters into one of the bags. Very disconcerting and distracting. Felix, you're natural to this. You've been looking around. There's definitely been a scuffle. There are marks into the dirt that seem to have been like 2 handprints placed down, and then what looks to be like a single indentation towards in between them. But other than that, you don't spot anything else. Looks like there was a very quick scuffle, and then it immediately ended with 2 handprints and what looks to be like a mark on the ground.
What is a mark?
It's more like an oval type shape. It could be the side of a head. It doesn't have a face indented into it.
Does it look like there's any like drag marks?
No. Immediately after that, there's no marks. There's nothing leaving the area and nothing entering.
This doesn't make sense.
It seems as if they knocked him forward and then somehow
He's gone.
transported him out without a trace.
You do see 2 footprints that were setting in as well. One looks to be a bit heavier, and then they come to an abrupt stop just before the handprints, and then another set of footprints coming from the portion of the pathway to your left that goes into it as well.
Do the other footprints look smaller in any way?
They definitely look a bit smaller. They're also more spread apart.
I'll look and see where they go.
Oh, they go to the other footsteps. They meet those footsteps.
Or they start.
They start behind like a back alley.
Okay.
We'll go to the back alley.
Okay. You go back there.
But I will mention, it's not easy to just take someone. That's real high magic.
I mean, unless you had some way to transport someone. Say a bag of holding.
I mean, they're not alive.
I mean, you got 10 minutes of breathing inside of a bag of holding. But if they're also dead, then that doesn't matter to begin with.
Yeah. We're assuming they're being taken alive.
As far as you can tell. There was no blood when you were searching before.
Yeah. And I mean, I gotta just... When these people just disappear like that. From what we can all ascertain in our separate ways.
From that exit, yes. But so you're looking at where the footprints start?
Yeah, or sort of follow.
They follow into.
I'm trying to see where do they go.
Okay.
Actually,
And
while he does that,
Follow whichever one seems the most suspicious.
Okay.
can I look around the trash thing to maybe see where the mulch comes out?
Sure. Go ahead and make an investigation check. So go for, are you staying with Jacqueline or are you following Felix?
I mean, I'd wait till
They're
Yeah.
both kind of.
but I'd be checking around to see which is the most suspicious.
Investigation 12.
It seems that there's, after the sifting continues, because there's a few bags that were put into there, or through a few containers, it seems that the mulch gets pushed directly into the ground, directly underneath it. So
there'd be no way to investigate.
Unless you moved the whole thing, which looks to be extremely heavy, there would be no way to search directly underneath it unless you dug far and then turned into it.
I assume everyone knows what what went through her mind.
Yes.
Felix, you would know that was a precaution before. It is dead matter that has to go into it. It is not. It cannot be. It cannot be. If there's a creature that's sifting through it, the machine will stop until said creature leaves.
What meant didn't fill in mass?
Nope. Just saying. That's what you would know. But
Yeah.
so then staying back into a group, you go investigating the footprints on where they started. So following them down, the footprints are very noticeable apart from all the other ones because they're much smaller and further apart than normal footsteps.
So do the big heavy ones come from where we walked?
The big heavy ones were obviously from probably the sun.
Okay.
And
I'll start following the other ones.
The other ones, yeah. So following those down into the back alley, you follow them down another right turn. Make perception checks, each of you. See if you notice anything while you're investigating. 13? 10?
12.
Shut up.
15.
Okay. All three of you can actually spot this. It's not necessarily hidden too well, but there's markings as you're going down. They almost look like graffiti of sorts coming down. And once you come towards the right alley, it comes to a dead end, and that's where the footsteps essentially start.
Do they start from the graffiti?
They start from the dead end, so yeah, it's as if they appeared out of nowhere.
These footprints kind of look a little sketchy, though.
Randall's gonna take a regular dagger that he has.
Okay.
Poke the dead end.
Okay, yeah, you poke the dead end. You're scraping along it, leaving a bit of some scratch marks through the graffiti.
How secluded are we right now?
You're pretty secluded. There's nobody nearby.
It hard enough to cause scratches.
Well, yeah, okay, it would have gone over it, so.
Yeah. I'm just trying to lightly tell if it's an illusion.
Yeah, it's very much so a real wall.
So then, I guess we'll do an investigation try.
Do the footprints go into the wall? That wall?
No, it's
Or do they turn somewhere? Or just stop?
So when you're going into the dead end, the footprints, because you've been following where they started, because there wasn't the footprints going back that way.
Yeah.
They just form as a pair and then start walking.
This is even.
Well,
You know what?
If this isn't a magical item, this is even higher magic if this guy's just showing up here.
Well, I'm going to cast Detect Magic.
Okay. As a ritual, you can't cast it as a ritual, right?
No,
I
can't.
can.
Okay, well.
It's just a level 1 paladin
Okay.
spell I have.
Make wild magic.
We're good.
Okay. So immediately your eyes just widen of sorts, as they're already one singular color. But you look around, you can see there are 2 magical sigils embedded into the graffiti. There are, they look to be kind of like circular, but they also have several different starred patterns that go into like a moon's crest. The opposing one has one that has nearly almost like a flowers pattern, the petals, and then the circle in the middle with a very large star that goes and intersected all 5 points.
Just like before, have I seen these before?
You have not, but with Detect Magic, kind of focusing in to get what kind of magic they are definitely transmutation magic. I'll double check on that. But I'm pretty sure yes. No, they are conjuration magic.
Conjuration?
Conjuration.
I point the 2 sigils out to Felix.
Yeah. After you
tell
point,
him,
Alright,
and
so
tell
an
him what
arcane
kind of
check?
magic.
To try to figure him out.
sure, make an arcane check. Yeah, so you point them out and Felix just like looks in closer, just like places his face up to it with his big eye looking
17.
at it. 17. You have seen through your research, especially for trying to figure out what your magical item has done. These are similar to teleportation sigils.
Good.
Very powerful magic.
Good. We leave town. We book it. We get the fuck out.
What did you find?
So, you remember how I said teleporting was very powerful magic?
Yes.
Well, there's a way to make it slightly easier.
Through what we see here, I'm guessing.
These are a little more complicated than what most people know how to do and are taught. Normally, to do it at a low level, you have a specific spot, a circle with certain symbols, and to be able to teleport them, you have to know those symbols, and it will teleport you only to there. These seem to be a little more complicated because A, it's not a full circle. A normal one would be big, and there'd be a lot of them. They've seen, whoever's doing this has seemed to figure out how to miniaturize this. That's real powerful.
Make a... Yes, you can make an intelligence check.
Me?
Yes, intelligence history check.
Okay. Okay, 18. 16.
16. You, after hearing about it, because you haven't seen the sigil. After he explains it to you, an image just kind of flashes into your mind, some kind of recollection. You have seen this sigil before, but it looks different. You've seen it after use. This is before use. One of the sigils is completely devoid of its powerful magic, as you've seen that before. You can only see the remnants of it. This one is more... You've seen this back in the tribal camp with the green hag, when she had vanished from that room. And that sigil that was underneath the desk.
Fucking
It's hag. That was right.
No, it's not his hag.
Mine's a sea egg.
Yours is not a sea hag.
Slightly under because they wouldn't.
They have no idea about it.
Under my breath, just barely enough for them to kind of hear. It seems a hag friend is back. Potentially.
Hag?
It's not good. Whatever, if I'm correct, whatever this individual, the hag that we've seen before, is doing, it can't be good. It can only be, I would say, most likely experimentation.
I was brought to a cave once by a hag.
What kind?
Could I make a roll to
You would remember this. You were taken because this is a pretty drastic moment of your current life.
This was fucking.
You were dragged unconsciously by a sea hag, who then tied you to a post. Because you've also seen this in your dreams a few times, where a night hag had also been next to you.
Oh shit. Okay.
So not a green hag.
Well, did I say
No.
what kind of hag it was?
Sorry,
Did I
not.
say like 2 hags or?
Yeah, I mean, you would know that you were basically experimented on, quote unquote, by 2 hags. You don't know what happened from that.
Okay, I'll explain that to them.
Yeah. So he goes over the fact that he was basically kidnapped by 2 hags and dragged into a cave, where they then kept him alive for some reason.
Were either of them green hags?
One of them was very dark black hair. I don't believe it was green.
No.
Purple skin.
I mean, he would know the other one was a sea.
Yeah, the sea hags look very different.
But I do know I was dragged into a cave. I was rescued by my crew in Strong. I'm guessing these people have been taken somewhere to be experimented on, just like I was.
Yeah.
Maybe turned into something they could use against us, or maybe something else.
Wait. This started happening 2 days ago. Has anyone actually said when our half-orc friend returned?
No. No one has said anything.
I mean, he returned before you got here.
Yes.
He returned before we got here.
He
So
returned.
those, they may have, if it's connected, they may have been waiting.
If they had returned before you, then it would have been a solid at least 1 day before you, as they had left in the night.
2 days enough time.
And then you stayed here for 2 nights.
And both nights, someone has disappeared.
Yes.
We
Stayed here for
did
3.
3.
Yeah, 3 nights.
Yeah.
Because
We
the very first
had
night.
a free night of before people started disappearing.
Yes. So yeah.
So would it have been 2 days before people started disappearing when Karn came back?
At
Yes.
least.
Okay.
Yeah, at least.
We don't know if they pushed themselves and got here earlier.
Given the time frame of any sort, it would. We definitely have to go back to that mansion. I don't know what we'll find. I don't think it will be pretty. In the slightest. Whatever they are doing here, I don't think they're moving from this spot. At least until whatever these sigils are for is done. And we have to go tonight. Before more people disappear.
Well, you mentioned a hag. Was the hag connected to the cult?
Yes. She was specifically experimenting. Making things for the cult. Do I remember the things in that cave?
Those were something that you have never seen before and were first interacted with. So yeah, it left a fairly large implementation of it in your mind.
I tell them about the tendril like zombie-like creatures, and then say it could be. Those creatures were probably part of her
Can
experiments.
I be able to roll to see if I...
Make an Arcana check. Arcana or Nature.
Well, I'm 21.
These are things that you have never seen or heard of before.
Got it.
Wait, a lot of things that you've never seen or heard of before. Felix, take out your little thingamajig. Put it close to one of the sigils or something. Does nothing happen? Right. Probably not connected.
Can I touch this?
Yeah, you can touch a sigil. Big meaty
Just
hand.
collapses
Yeah,
all his
The wall.
You're right.
It collapses onto
No.
him.
Nothing happens.
I think we found all we can find.
So, do we want to go tell the guard that we found out that
They would not be able to do anything about it.
No, but that's information that they could use.
Oh,
Very quickly started to turn. No, but that is information they could use.
I mean, if you want to go tell them,
I
go
think
for it.
I think you should because
It would not put anyone's mind at ease. If anything else, it might cause panic.
Well, I think it'd be easier for
I
us
mean-
because if we were being suspected, then
That
we'd be
is
out for
true.
luck.
Yeah, but I mean, they're guards. Some guards know magic.
Alright.
They have access. People couldn't start looking into this.
Okay. Then we will tell them, I guess.
Put Zacchaeus down.
He's just scooching. Just scooching his face.
Why are you being a creepy bastard?
Karis, he's touching your face.
He's not touching anyone's face.
Touching Bomb Shoe's face. But, okay, so you guys are going back to the guard then?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to cut to Rex and Zacchaeus. So you guys are investigating the port, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Make, you're investigating to try to find that one friend, right?
Yes.
Okay, try to make investigation or persuasion checks.
+2 on rolls. Okay. 13.
13? Zacchaeus?
19.
19. Okay, amongst the two of you, you gather enough information to pinpoint where the friend was, especially since they've been together for so long. The renownedness of both of them are kind of symbolic in a way to the rest of the sailors as like a good luck type of fortune, though not anymore. You find him on a ship, which is being currently taken apart, more or less, being repaired, and since they're not going to be traveling for the next week, some of them have been relaxing, spending whatever gold and money that they might have had. You can see a human man stands at the top. He's muscular, large, easily delving into maybe 6'6" in height, and is the epitome of a sailor. He has a small shirt on, with just rippling muscles going out through it, and when he turns around after you kind of figure out that's him, he's got a pretty large cut scar going across his face.
Over.
He is taller and more muscular than Gopher.
It's my cousin.
It's me later.
It's Norford. North Star.
North Star.
Oh, God. The North.
But yeah, you can see him.
This is Alpha North Star.
Aye. What are you looking for?
We're looking for the owner of that inn's friend that got missing.
Kind of like steps down and
he
goes off.
just slaps you.
He drops maybe about, because he was on top of the ship, so from the ship to the pier it's maybe about 15 feet. He just kind of takes a hand and drops down on top.
Right in front of me.
Directly in front of you. When he lands, he just like crouches down, just the entire pier from that portion just kind of lifts ever so slightly, being only in the water. When he lands, he stands much taller than you, especially your 19-year-old self. Not even 17. 17-year-old self.
It's not even my birthday yet.
Nope, you're still at 18. He looks down at you and the tiefling. And what are you looking for?
We just have a question about that one night that your friend got missing.
Yeah, I went missing. Trying to find him, so is everyone else. What?
Know anything about it? Anything strange happened before?
I mean, I saw someone stealing a few things from what looks to be probably someone's shipment, and then turned back, my friend was gone.
Okay, do you know where this happened?
It happened right where you're standing. Happened right in front of my ship.
Right here in front of your ship.
I was discussing on my ship, and that's when I saw it. Turned back to look over there, and he points to like another ship that's over on a different pier that seemed to have pretty nice-looking sails. Saw him stealing from right over there. I heard something, so they knocked one of the barrels over into the water. When I looked back, they were jumping off the boat. Then I turned back, and my friend was gone. He was at the bottom of the pier.
And you didn't see anybody dragging him away?
Not
or
at all.
anything? He was just gone.
He was just gone. Didn't hear anything, didn't see anyone. And I mean, as you can tell, you're clearly about like 30 to 40 feet from land on the pier as well. You're not like close, so it would have been pretty evident to see someone running up and then also running back with a dwarven body of that man, which is easily probably at least another 250 pounds of just raw muscle.
Can I make an insight check to see if this guy is withholding something?
Sure, go ahead and make an insight check.
Well, that's not very good. 7.
Yeah, you can tell he's being pretty forthright. You can tell he's being pretty forthright with, like, nearly all of it. If not all of it. But he's definitely keeping something hidden.
You rolled like a 2 or something.
I did roll 2. I'm like, there's no way this dude's got +5 for deception. No way.
He's Gomer's cousin.
Yeah, and his fucking deception's how much?
1.
Yeah. It's a sailor. But you can tell he's hiding something, but he's been forthright with what he's been telling you.
I'm only going to ask this once because you intimidate the fuck out of me and I'm scared for my life. I'm here to help find your friend. And if there's anything that you're not telling us that would be beneficial to our search, now would be the time to tell us.
Make a persuasion check with advantage. Also not your strong suit.
That was a hack.
13.
What was that?
13.
13? He leans back, looks around, sees that nobody's around. He actually like has to crouch down to be kind of eye level with you. We were discussing about our previous shipment before, and it may or may not have involved some unruly, kind of illegal substance. But other than that,
Something that someone would have kidnapped him with.
perhaps it was worth quite a pretty amount of gold, but I don't think that why he was taken was the drastic part. It was the fact that he was. Sure, we were doing something unjust in certain eyes, but we're making a living. Not something we do often, and not
Nothing
something
wrong with that. Who was this shipment for?
was being shipped to our employer to bring them. We brought in a few and dropped them off the other day. It was the first thing to get off the boat. But they Mr. Froust wanted them.
I see.
Look, I don't think that's what is important here. What happened is he was gone in a blink of an eye, and I didn't spy anything that happened. That's what we should be focusing on, not what we brought. I told you everything that I know and saw. There's nothing else that I can essentially give to you other than everything that I've just given to you.
Out of curiosity, just curiosity. I have no other intentions. What were you transporting?
Well, you've been hearing about recent explosions, correct?
Yeah, they've leveled quite a bit in the city.
Well, Faust has been trying to counteract it by developing some way to defuse them, but in doing so, he needs to have the resources to get them. We've given him maybe a few vials worth of powerful black gunpowder. Nothing much.
Alright.
Maybe 3 or 4 vials worth.
And this is what you were bringing in under the radar.
Yeah. I mean, it's an explosive in a town,
That's fair.
in a city where explosions are happening. I don't think we wanted to be seen by bringing that in. Probably would paint us in a bad picture.
Okay. Well, thank you for your time, sir. If we find anything, we'll be sure to let you.
Alright, let's keep this between us, otherwise it'll be a little bit disturbing. Thank you. Alright, so you two go off and do something else? Where are you guys going?
I guess so, yeah.
Yeah, where are you guys heading?
Should we meet back? We didn't say we were going to meet back, huh?
I would assume it's our same meeting place.
To imagine.
Definitely more the center.
Should we go meet way at the center of town for everybody? Or
I don't think there's much else to learn here. We should probably head back to the archive.
I agree.
As you guys are heading back, you can also spot Ryder has been not at all stealthily listening into other people's conversations. A few times his face has gotten pretty red by getting too close, and then one of the women just turning back and just wham! Slapping him across the face full force as he's been looking like a creeper. He has several bruises across his face and some of his arms as well.
That was a 3.
For gossip gathering, he rolled a natural 1 and a natural 1.
Oh.
So
Is he knocked out on the ground?
he's not knocked out, but he's bruised.
Can he's on the ground, he can't move, right?
Oh, he's fine. He's just kind of like sitting down, trying to listen in, farther away from people now, as he's also been more or less brutalized by a number of sailors.
Okay, Ryder, time to come with us.
To be honest, I think it's a bit of an improvement.
Mean. But yeah, Ryder comes with you. He has gathered nothing. Nothing of use.
Why do we have him in this party?
Don't worry about it. We're gonna wait for everybody else at the archive.
Okay.
We went.
Yeah, you're going back to the guard.
At least the 2 of us are going back to one of the guards.
Yeah, the 3 are, all 3 of you are going back.
I have no reason not to.
Yeah, so you guys go back to the guard. It's been only a few minutes, so nothing has really changed inside the inn.
I'm gonna come up with a guard. Can you step outside quick for a second?
Make a persuasion check. With advantage, because you're Phoenix.
Base 18. 19.
Alright, a base 18 I think is good enough to persuade a guard to leave the inn for a few minutes. Alright, be right back, ma'am. We'll be right back. And he follows you out. So what'd you find out?
Well, we found what appears to be him walking up to the waste disposal,
Mm-hmm.
and then he is tackled to the ground.
Mm-hmm.
And then we found a second set of footprints that seem to have come up behind him, and then they both just vanish.
Odd.
Yep. So, correct. So what we decided to do is, because we had nowhere to go, we followed the second ones that just show up and seem to be the ones that tackle this man. And we found what seems to be teleportation magic.
Teleportation magic.
2 very powerful teleportation sigils that we assume to be put there by a green hag.
She says green hag.
Why would you know about Green
She
Hag?
says she's seen it before.
Yes. I have, in my journeys, we've dealt with them before. We've seen these sigils elsewhere.
She also says it's what they call.
Yeah.
The one that she's seen
The
with
one
these
that
symbols.
deals with the sparks that blew up your town. I assume anyway, that the hag or the cult, in extension, want these people for experimentation of some kind to make maybe a weapon of some sort, another creature, or just to test potions or the like.
You can see his face visibly grimace at the thought of all the different options that you have just given. Do you have any idea where they might have gone?
If they're using teleportation magic, anywhere.
There's no telling.
It's quite potent in range. We can at least show you where we found them.
Yeah, I'd like to know, and then maybe I can find someone to
Yeah.
take a look at it later, someone from the archive, maybe.
I'll take it.
Okay, yeah, you take
Show
them, point it out. We don't usually go into these alleys here. It's kind of out of our range of view, so a lot of the guards tend to be a little bit frightened, especially with all the explosions and such happening. So,
Makes sense.
for however long they've been here, I'm not sure when, but it's not good.
No.
Not at all.
Well, good work in finding this. Find anything more, and let me know. And you said it's powerful magic.
Yeah, the weakest form of teleportation magic can take you across the globe.
That is not something.
Or is it are we even a globe? It's a fair one.
Not really.
I would know it's far though.
Yeah, it's far. Not really like a globe. I got a map, but you guys haven't found a map yet, so. Anyways.
We find a map. That doesn't tell if it's a globe or not.
Yeah, but based off the map, you would know it's not really a globe. Anyways, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. What else are you guys doing now? The guard at this point has gone back to the inn.
We'd go back to the archive.
Okay. So everyone now meets back up at the archive.
What have you lot found?
Nothing good.
Do we want to go back somewhere to discuss this?
Can I get to you guys time? How much time's been passed right now?
I mean, it's been a few hours traveling across the city,
Okay.
but waking up, it was still, it was like 6 a.m. If you're going to wait till night, you got to wait another 12 hours. Which you could just fast forward to if need be, but...
You could take a nap.
You could take a nap, you could take like a good short rest if you need to be.
I mean, if we want, we could. If we want to discuss some of this more in private, we could go back to my home again.
Some of it is pretty sensitive information, so it's probably
Good
good advice.
idea right now. Yes.
Alright. Alright, so you guys make it back to Felix's den. The door opens, and inside you hear the bubbling of what seems to be teas and such being brewed. The moment that you all start to enter inside of the room, the half-elven woman takes some of the tea and then goes into the guest room.
I'm following up.
Door slams in your face.
I would use my staff to be
Yeah,
like,
well, you gonna strong arm him?
I mean, I'm not gonna stop him, but I'm gonna put it out
in front of him.
Be like, don't. Just don't.
I take Ryder with me, Doc.
Anyways,
I cannot do anything to you with this, but
I will
golly, I'll try.
point. I will point at you grievously.
And
pointed you
then
menacingly.
sleep.
Okay.
Just go or fall asleep.
Anyways, you're not gonna cast a high enough level spell to sleep to make him go to bed. He's got
That's what you think.
63 health.
Well, the medicator.
64.
64. Well, minus whatever
Oh yeah.
effects.
Yeah, minus 2.
Minus more than 2.
Minus 3.
56.
It's more than
Oh,
3.
it's 8.
Yeah, you're at 56.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So you guys discuss what you've learned.
So we discussed everything we discussed.
Yeah.
What we found.
And about the green hag thing, Rex,
Ryder,
and
Zacharis.
would know about
Yes.
what I'm talking about.
Yes, they would.
So we meet her again. So she's
Possibly. I'm only making assumptions.
That bitch told me that if I kept talking, she would take my tongue out.
Is that Ryder?
That is Ryder.
Oh.
Yes. And this time she might do worse.
I get rage mode and say, Hag!
Hag!
Hag is a trigger word for Gopher's rage.
Yes, because just all of a sudden we've been mentioning hags for the last, like, how long?
No, he's quiet
Because we found
rage.
it, and now he's raged.
Now he's rage. No.
He's quiet raging during those times. Like,
Anyways, continue on. So,
I assume at this point we just wait around.
yeah, everyone's gathered the information that was given out. You all...
Did I tell him about the little circular sigil I found under the painting?
Yes, you did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Unless anybody else had any points to discuss about or plans of action, then we would just fast forward.
are we gonna barge into the mansion?
We're gonna kick the doors down.
Go into the mansion. We're not gonna kick the doors down.
Okay, so we're just going
Bust
straight in.
Or stealth it, I don't know. Anyway, yeah, no, I don't think no one's doing that.
No one's gonna do that.
No.
Okay.
No one's home.
Home!
So, time passes. You get some tea.
I'll assume we also will go to the mansion separately.
Yeah,
Like one
you
or
guys
two.
spend enough time to definitely get there individually, not be conspicuous, everything like. Are you guys going into the mansion separately, or are you just going into the alley separately?
I would
say
assume
just-
for now the alley.
Yeah, get to the alley separately, casually, so as not to, cause an alarm.
Okay. After you guys leave to go do your separate times, Felix leaving last, the half-elven woman steps out and sees that everyone else is gone. Felix, what are you doing tonight?
Trying to figure out why the people have suddenly started disappearing and hopefully putting a stop to it.
That's good. I went out to get some supplies for the tea, and it was definitely here in plenty.
Please stay inside and be careful. From what we gathered, it's possibly a hag.
I'll stay here then. She kind of grabs the big axe that's in the corner of the room, kind of puts it back onto her back, which is essentially the length of her.
Also,
And if
go for
you-
it. Was turned on.
She
for it,
grabs
shit.
me by one arm and I'm just red rocking. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh my god.
If you catch Chris before he leaves, give him a heads up.
I'll do that.
Chris?
That's why I left.
Yeah. I couldn't think of anything further than that. I was just like...
But my literally my second roommate, the one who works overnight, is Kristen Chris.
Nice!
It's my other persona.
Christian Chris.
Christian, yeah.
But
That one doesn't drink or anything.
you all make it to the
Alleyway.
alleyway, totally unabated. Nobody stops you. Nobody asks questions. Nothing of the sort. And night does fall at this point, so it's fairly dark. A lot of the people that are on the streets have left. There's some good. I was trying to say way too many things at the same time. There's some guard patrolling around. There are torch sconces set up in corners, so that way alleyways tend to get brighter. But other than that, you're pretty much in the dark.
So what's the plan then?
Time to sneak in.
Do we split into two groups?
Two groups first. I think you guys should do what you did last time first. Let us know if it's safe to come in.
So who's to be the two groups?
First group.
Be the same group as last time?
Yeah, the three. Karis, Jacqueline, and...
As many people who can turn invisible, I guess, turns invisible. That's the
Okay.
plan.
I don't
So
feel that's necessary.
go for it. Me, you're going straight to the front door then.
And Rex. And Ryder, right?
Ryder can, yeah. So are you guys is one group just going in stealthily, or are people going in invisible?
I think
One group is going invisible, one group is going in stealthily.
Yeah.
Okay, which is going in first?
The invisible ones.
Okay.
Invisible.
So you two go in invisible.
Yep.
All right, wild magic then, unless you don't feel like it's necessary.
Securus.
Yeah, is Mouse Karis going in, or is Mouse Karis
I'm
going
staying with the other group.
staying with the other group?
No. Okay.
Alright. No,
Are you
no
sure?
wild magic.
Are you sure?
No wild
Right,
magic.
doesn't can't be invisible.
Hmm?
Right? Are you sure you can't go invisible?
I can, but I mean, sure. And he pulls out his DOS lute, and he goes invisible using his DOS lute. No wild magic involved.
So me, Gopher, and Securus.
Place that so well.
He knows that.
So it'll be Jacqueline, Ryder, and Felix, and then
Gopher, Zakaris,
Gopher,
and
Zakaris,
Rex.
and Rex.
All right. Good to record again. So, invisible team going in first.
A team. Oh wait, that's copyrighted.
It is indeed
The awesome team.
the awesome team. Get out.
I would say magic team.
Yeah.
Except for we left our druid.
Yeah.
Our team is pretty much all magic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And only one of us will survive.
No, 2 magic and a
one
paper.
blow.
Anyways, so you three enter. Other than Ryder's no knowledge of the inside, other than what you described to him, everything looks exactly the same. You can hear music.
Does
Not-
it sound muffled at all?
It does not.
It's, okay, so
And-
it sounds the same
yeah.
as when she was in here before.
Yes, sounds exactly the same.
We never heard him off.
You never heard it muffled. But he would have told you about probably dropping it in. Would you have, Zakaris?
Yeah.
So you would know that it was dropped in water, but you aren't necessarily familiar if the sound would have been terribly muffled.
Sounds exactly. Is the sound of the music coming from the same location?
It sounds like it's coming from upstairs, yeah.
Okay. Because if it was down here, it would probably be a little bit louder, and directionally would be down here.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah, it seems to be coming from upstairs.
That is, someone has been here since we were last here. Through message, of course.
He's casting it through message. You can't see each other.
I mean, we did. I can assume we all went in. At the same
Okay, yeah.
I assume we made a plan to stop at the door and like just
Yeah.
Yeah, holding out hands and just
Just
feeling
make
each
sure.
other's faces.
Ryder's like,
What is the plan here, by the way? Is
I
Team
was-
A going in? Like, how long before Team B goes in?
They're gonna let us know when it's safe.
Okay, and you're staying in the alley?
In the same map.
Alright, so then they're 90 feet away from you, currently.
Okay.
You want to stay here? I will go straight up with hopefully Ryder.
Or do we want
To
the others to show up? Because right now, there's no danger in walking in.
yes, but do we want to go check the room quick just to be safe?
Just to see if something else has changed.
Yeah.
I'll follow you. Hello. I'm here too. He's just consistently, like, placing a hand as he casts message as well.
I'll take like his arm.
Um,
I'll hold him like this.
one person with message should stay at the door.
I'll stay here.
Okay,
Um,
that works. What does it?
Felix.
Would he need to know about like where the door is to be able to cast message to us?
If you cast a message to him, then he wouldn't
Which
need
is
the
which
message.
is what I was.
Yeah, he wouldn't need the message
Yeah.
back.
All right. So Felix, you
Okay.
and
You stand a little bit to like the side of the door so you're not in the way.
Alright,
Right.
fine.
actually,
There we go.
Felix, since I've been in the room before and I know what it looked like to begin with, I will go. I have a message as well.
I'm gonna come with you because you mentioned you saw runes on a picture.
Yes, that's true. All right.
I mean, to be able to use any of my research, I need to see it.
Okay. Yeah, me and Felix go upstairs.
Going upstairs.
No, I show him the painting first.
Okay, so you're going through this way?
Yes.
Alright.
We're gonna go upstairs through that way. This we're gonna do this and then go through here to see if anything. Backtracking where Jacqueline went the last time she was
Okay,
here.
so you're
to
not
make
going
sure,
up these steps, you're going up those steps.
Mhm.
Okay,
to
that's
make
what I
sure
needed to know.
nothing has changed.
Okay, so you go through this door. Felix, you've never seen this door before, and these statues are very much so in a similar fashion of the other ones before.
They look any angrier.
They do not look any angrier. They look to be touched in several places.
Okay. That's a pretty good indication that nothing has changed over here so far.
Yeah.
By a tiefling, does it look to be?
By tiefling, yes, they have just big grubby red handprints on them.
How dare you?
But she does point out the sigil to you. Make an Arcana check.
14.
14. You are unfamiliar with what kind of magic that it is, but you can tell that there is a trigger mechanism to it. You just don't know what that trigger is, as well as it's magic that you currently don't know. So you can indicate that it's probably not a spell that you know of, at least currently.
It's all these pictures could be very well trapped.
Could be. I know of 2 other pictures that are in the room we're going to. Maybe we'll be able to find similar symbols.
Yeah.
Do we go upstairs now?
Lead the way.
Alright, so you go through this door.
Right away, has anything changed in this room?
No.
Stained glass is the same.
Stained glasses are the same, except that it's now dark. So there's no
benches
light
like
coming
where
through
they
it. What'd you say?
Well, he moved the benches.
The benches he put back into place.
Yeah.
She put back
Okay.
into place.
And
So yeah.
they haven't been moved.
You come in here. There
the-
is no music box in the water.
Okay.
The water, as far as you can tell, is totally normal.
It is
Does
called.
it look like there have been any water spilled?
It does not.
Within 2 days?
Does not.
Yeah.
So, go up the stairs. I will go grab the
Oh,
next step.
I was gonna say, does the actual fountain itself look like it's been
Suddenly it's tea.
No, it looks exactly the same.
This house is very strange. Very strange indeed. No, you're gonna crush it.
Take that.
It's destroyed by the top level.
Dead.
I did my best to lay it on top of each other to when I drew the maps. That way it would actually feel like an actual house. Okay, so you guys emerge at the top of the stairs.
Concrete room first.
Concrete room. So you go in here. It's dark,
Any
other than the
other-
one light.
Any extra scratch marks? Any extra anything?
Nope.
I'll try the torch again, just in case. Still in place.
Still stuck there.
I'll
So-
just look at it. Just do an investigation.
Investigation? Go ahead.
16.
Looking at it, it definitely seems to have been built into the wall. And when you can see Jacqueline trying to pull out of it, it doesn't seem to even budge, other than
I
maybe
can
a
tell
few
all
gives.
that it's not.
Yeah, it's not something that's going to be taken out of the wall through normal means, unless strong enough to do so. She's invisible.
I can see it. So
You can see it, jitter.
Alright, then into the room.
Alright, you head into here.
Mhm.
The music box has been getting louder and louder, and it is in fact back on top of the table, even though it has not left your sight of that manner.
I will look at the desk that is in the back of the room.
The desk looks normal, other than the books that are missing.
Did he say he took?
If
He took the books off the table. Felix, you wouldn't have any knowledge of the books.
I don't think I would
told
have
us-
any knowledge of him taking the books.
Unless Zacchaeus told you. Zacchaeus, did you tell them about the books you told?
Sure, why not?
Okay.
I don't see why I'd keep this.
I mean, if he told us about the music box, why
Well,
would
yeah.
he hide the books?
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, he took the books, and they're not on the table. Doesn't seem like there was touch. Doesn't seem like any of the books were moved. Nothing of the sort.
I'm going to go over to the desk and look to see if anyone was searching for the books around the desk.
Okay.
As if they realized they were missing and were looking for them.
Make an insight check.
Insight.
Yes. To kind of get that impression that somebody was frantically looking, because there's signs of people that have lived here before, but trying to see if there's anything that you can ascertain from it.
Is a 20, dirty 20.
Dirty 20. You can tell that there was searching, but it was not frantic.
So
There was someone that was looking for them, but less of in worry and more just curiosity.
they knew we were here, I think. Potentially. They knew something was wrong. Someone was here
I
last
assume
night.
this is still a message.
Yes.
Yeah.
It will always be.
You guys are holding hands at this point.
I mean, I would assume
Someone
one of us
came
is
in-
holding our arm.
Yeah, someone came in, put everything back the way it was, because the... I will go look at the music box to see if there's any water residue on it.
Yeah, when you go up to it and you look, there seems to be a little bit of some dampness on the bottom portion of it and leading up to the top, but it doesn't seem to have hindered it in any way.
I'm going to investigate all the pictures for if they all have the same symbol on them.
Okay, make an investigation check.
I will do this.
Okay, go ahead and make another investigation check.
Nat 1.
Okay.
Can't tell the symbols are the same at all.
3.
Looking around, you don't even see symbols on them. Yep, that is.
Damn.
Yep, that is what you have ascertained from looking for the sigils. To find out whether or not they're the same sigils, you don't see the sigils.
Look again.
I mean, I would know that there were other pictures. I would probably at some point want to go back and look at those ones too.
Oh yeah, there's tons of them on the second floor.
Yeah.
But at this point, you can tell that nobody else has been in this room currently. So that is up to you on what you
Someone's-
send back with message, or if you investigate further on your own.
No, I'll just tell Ryder that besides putting the music back and looking for the books that Zacchaeus stole, nothing seems to be necessarily changed or additional traps put in this room.
Okay.
But there was someone here. So we
Yeah,
do
someone
need to be careful.
someone definitely was here last night.
So then, should I tell them to come in?
Carefully.
Yeah, come in stealthily, carefully, and yeah.
Okay. So the rest of you, back in the alley, you hear a message. He would have targeted Zacchaeus. Asparagus, they were telling me that there was somebody definitely here. The music box was put back. The books were still stolen, but there was somebody definitely back to do that. But they said that we should be fine to come back in.
Okay, I will tell the others and we will be on our way in through the front.
Okay. Is everyone stealthing?
Stealthing.
Okay.
Yes, before we head in, I'm going to cast Pass Without a Trace.
Okay. So everyone adds plus 10 to your stealth checks. In addition to your normal modifiers. As
Calvin already is in stock.
17.
So yeah, so
18.
as he places a hand and just kind of claps them together and this energy flows through Zacchaeus' hands, all the darkness and shadow from the torches that are around you just begin to kind of coalesce over you, almost like camouflage.
Nice.
So
Someone would have to get a natural 1
I
to see.
Natural 1.
yes, this is how you get in the 30s for stealth. This is where you start hiding from the past. So all three of you make stealth checks with plus 10 plus your normal rolls.
I remember that.
23.
20. That's 9 plus 18.
27.
Yeah,
Zacchaeus?
29.
Okay.
Wow,
All of
careful.
you just vault over the wall. You don't even threaten the wall of touching it, and
you just passed through it.
You might as well have been, because there is no sign that you even existed in that alley, in the road, over the wall. The grass that you landed on was just perfect.
Just in Waterdeep at all. You were just never there.
They forget your faces.
there was a guard watching. He's like, oh, look at those birds.
Oh, yeah. Look at that. Weird. They're so low to the ground and big.
The bird is really far away.
That bird's like 400 pounds.
I didn't think condors got that big.
But anyways, you guys easily make it into the rest of the building. Just open up the door. I'm going to put you guys down here as the rooms are just kind of layered the same. So what's everyone's plan?
I mean, I would have tried to go look at the other pictures with her.
Okay. So you guys would have gone into this room up here?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, make an Arcana check.
Should I make an investigation?
Sure.
I mean, realistically, I can make Arcana as well. They're the same modifier.
So if we're trying to find the symbols, I can do Arcana?
Yeah.
Okay, that's 12.
Okay.
Whoa!
18 doesn't matter.
18?
She finds them.
All these photos that are out here have no sigils.
Even the ones that they've seen before?
Mm-hmm. The ones that you looked at have no sigils.
Even the one of the steps.
This one is less... that one is a self-portrait of Karn, and that one has a sigil underneath of the same kind of degree. It is a self-portrait of Karn in what looks to be pretty much like... it's less than the massive one, because you also can't investigate that without having to somehow climb the wall to get to it, because it's about 10 feet up from where you're standing.
It's okay, I'm
I
smart.
mean, we can't look at the bottom.
You can look around it, but you'd have to get up closer to establish whether or not there's something there, but from your curious glances, especially with like a 19 for investigation, you don't see anything under it.
Okay.
But this one definitely has a sigil that has the same effect as the one downstairs. So you guys are downstairs.
Should we stick together, guys, or should we...
Ryder peers in invisibly, places a hand on Zacchaeus' shoulder. I'm here.
Please don't do that.
Okay.
From upstairs, you guys can see them. They can't see you.
Ignoring our stuffs.
Well, you guys opened the door. The stealth was to get to the inside and affect anything that was inside, but you guys are still, there.
Yeah, that's true.
They can still visibly see you. It'd be different if there was, around the corner trying to hear you. Because you guys still technically have Pass Without a Trace on. As long as you stay within 30 feet of Zacchaeus, you have 10 plus 10 to your stealths. Theoretically, that would also affect you too. At this range, that would affect you too.
Affects all of us.
But yes. So, what is the plan right now?
I'd go back to... I assume we would have just added a meeting point since we're both invisible.
Okay. Downstairs, or?
I would assume just up here, so we know where we each other are and can.
You meet at the bench.
Counting message.
At the love sofa.
The love seat.
The love seat. Thank you. That's what it is.
Karis, she's cheating on you.
You can't see it.
Invisible cheating.
The best kind.
Oh my god.
Can't even see it.
Terrible people. Move on. What's everyone doing? So people that are downstairs, you know that there is an invisible rider to your right. The rest of you haven't seen what this building looks like other than Zacchaeus. You can see a koi pond in the corner that has a few fish kind of leaping in different portions. About 3 rooms to your left, 2 rooms to your right.
Should we check in the room to our left? Because they really didn't check much of the rooms.
It's just whispering. We gotta be careful. We should warn them about the pictures of corn. Stop calling them corn!
You hear it and never.
The whisper shouting from upstairs.
We hear it. So the guy's name is
Never. This guy's an asshole. I'll never give him the respect he deserves.
Okay. So like being in this house for the first time?
You can see two massive statues that have like a sword and shield in both different hands, opposing hands. They're kind of in the same position.
I
They
kind of
have,
want
they have eyeballs.
I mean, getting up close to them, you can tell that they definitely have facial structure, but it's been clearly chiseled into. There's a little bit of some imperfections comparably to the two, but they're meant to look at least identical.
Would I be able to pull out like the sort of sword or shield that they're holding?
You can try. Make an athletics check.
Hell yeah. 16.
So you place your hand onto the shield because that's the closest one, and otherwise you'd have to aim for the one that's like up in the air because they're still on pedestals, so you'd have to climb up partially. So you grab at the shield and you try to tug. You can hear it kind of like bending, but then not actually coming off or coming loose.
Could I try the sword now? Or
I mean, you could get up closer.
Gopher. We'll do this later.
these things look sketchy,
Yeah,
man.
from
They're
from
gonna, like,
from
fall-
the seat, from the love seat upstairs, you see Gopher climb up to the statue, try to yank out the shield, not working. You see him grab at the sword, try to yank out, and you just hear Gopher.
I cheese that.
He puts it back.
Wait, but did the sword come out?
It did not come out.
Alright. Okay, I'll just back away from it.
Felix, do you want to go back downstairs and, I don't know, start exploring this place with the rest?
Do we want to stay invisible?
I don't see any reason why we have to, no.
I mean, we don't
Safety
know
measures.
We don't know what these pictures do.
We don't know what these pictures do, but
Could
if
be
three of us
sight-based.
are... What?
Could be sight-based.
If the three that aren't invisible walk in front of the pictures anyway, that's it. Us invisible or not.
I mean, if it's like just an alert thing, they only know there's three.
Well, you could have investigated before we came in.
We did.
You're not there.
We did too.
Well, you are there, but you're not there.
We did and we failed.
So,
Yes.
what are you two doing?
I mean, I'm really going downstairs.
So you guys approach down the stairs. Are you staying invisible then? I mean, it's just concentration. You don't necessarily have to drop it for any reason.
No.
In combat purposes, you would have advantage. They would have disadvantage on every attack against you.
I guess.
So, all right, I can move all these pieces off now.
Everyone
Move.
roll initiative.
No.
These statues come to
I
life!
told
Are
you.
angry at Gopher.
I'm saying, dude, these statues are gonna
Somehow
come to
they
life.
ignore everyone and only go for Gopher.
I'm not lying, dude. The
I'm not lying, brah.
The statues are gonna attack us. I
Oh, they
swear.
come down the door. I'm
Like, look at how many there are, dude. There's no way that these statues aren't alive.
You okay?
Yep, I was just worried I grabbed the wrong cable. No, I just tugged on the cable of my computer.
When did we start this level?
We still have another 20, 25 minutes. All right. So everyone down the stairs. We've got you. You all. Being you. You coming up over there.
Gopher's at the statue.
Yep, Gopher's over at the statue. He's on the statue.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
I guess we'll just start sending message around asking what everyone wants to do.
Okay. So you guys hear from your mind, not where they are, but you hear from them as they're asking what the plan is to essentially do.
I'll say I want to explore the other rooms
Do you,
that you guys haven't checked yet.
do you want to do it as visible and invisible group?
I say we keep it where we are. Have one team. You guys stay invisible. We will be not invisible.
Right. Do you want to do... Does the visible group want to check downstairs while the invisible group checks upstairs?
You guys go check upstairs.
Alright.
You, according to what you guys said, there's a few rooms up there you guys can check.
Be
with, right?
careful of pictures. It seems to be a core.
Did it?
I said core. I didn't say the end.
Any pictures of the man that we are looking for, Khan, as we know him as, Turnstile Faust?
Turniston Froust.
Turniston Faust, sure, whatever.
It's gonna become like an alter identity of mine. I've fucking called his name out so many times.
Turniston Faust.
So what are we gonna do with the big picture then?
Just be careful in front of it.
Wait.
All of them have special sigils underneath them and we don't know what they do. None of the other pictures seem to have the same sigil, only ones of
Oh,
self-portraits.
Wait, but you guys said you saw some on some of the pictures last time, right?
And they were all portraits of Faust. All of them.
Okay.
Only the portraits of Faust.
Yeah, I know that. But I'm saying, like, you saw them last time, but they're not here this time, is what I'm getting at.
No.
They are there.
They're here. We found one.
Yeah.
I found one the last time I was here.
The normal pictures that aren't of Faust don't have them.
You gave me an arcana.
We did.
We already did go first.
I love how the barbarian is telling the magic people how to use Arcana.
Well, that's why I'm saying it. I don't know if you guys have done it yet.
Theoretically, that is true.
Yeah,
you wouldn't know. Wouldn't know.
I wasn't there.
As you, like, you could investigate it.
Anyways,
We already did.
So you guys are splitting off on different floors, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about we do one floor first and then do the entire other? Or will that not work?
That will not work.
Oh,
Why don't we just stick to one floor?
I mean, we can start with one floor and then go to the other. Depends on where you guys go. So we'll start with top floor because it'll be invisibility group.
Yeah.
Just tell me where you guys would be. Okay.
The room to the left.
Right. The room to the left over here. There's 2 rooms to the left.
The one closer, I guess.
They're both kind of equal distance.
The front one.
This one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you guys agree? Go for it.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll say that you guys were going into there while they're doing their investigation quick. And then, Zakaris?
You said sure.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So this is the easiest way to do this because of lack of space. And also size. There realistically wasn't too many rooms upstairs in comparison to the downstairs either. So
Yeah.
that's why I also kind of think that upstairs might be faster to do first.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It's a lot of work to move these around. Okay, so you 3 are invisible, going up the stairs. To the left or right? Doesn't matter. You've explored this half of the building, basically. Other than a few other rooms that are to the right here.
Yeah, we got.
You got one room
doors
here, doors over on
here.
this door as well. There's 2 doors directly north of these.
I mean, do we see the door to our right?
Yeah, you would see the door to your right if you went up this up this side. Yeah, you would know where all the doors are upstairs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I say we start by going into the door closest to us.
Okay.
All right. Let me move some stuff around.
This is a big room.
Uh-huh.
And statue come.
I told you, there's more statues, man.
There is a statue right there of another individual, like the same armor as before. What you do spot is a table filled to the brim with just random assortments of paper and 2 bookshelves filled to the brim with random assortments of books.
Okay. I would do
Man,
once
those guys-
over with both just investigating and Arcana investigating.
Okay. Of just the room in general?
Yeah, I don't know. I'd do it twice over.
Okay. You can roll both. Do you want to do the same, or are you looking around to be on guard or anything like that?
What I will do is I will look at the farthest bookshelf and I will do my thing with statue as well.
Okay, yeah. So you're looking at the books in the furthest statue?
I'll
For anything that like stands out.
Okay, make just a general perception check then. And then make
I'm going to be doing this every room I go into, so
Okay.
I'll do Arcana, then investigation.
Okay,
every
Arcana
time.
then first.
So, 22.
Looking around the room, there doesn't seem to be any sigils. There's no artwork, and other than the statue itself, there doesn't seem to be anything significant and valuable.
I can't tell anything magical about
No.
even the statue or anything.
No. And then the investigation.
7.
Man, there's a lot of papers here.
Man, there's a lot.
There's a lot of papers here. This desk, filled papers. So what was your perception?
Perception 17.
17? Okay, I'm also going to roll investigation and Arcana for Ryder, as I feel like he would do the same. Okay, Arcana not very good. Investigation is a natural 20, so that's funny. You guys did half the work. And then what did you say for perception again?
17.
17. Looking at the books, they all seem to be about different, knowledge. There's some about different creatures, some that are about the region, materials, some that seem to be about costs on average.
Does she
of
see
certain...
anything that stands out to her specifically?
Not to you specifically. This, based off of the books that you can see, this is definitely of somebody that is trying to run a business as well as try to maintain as much knowledge about the environment that they can. That is what you gauge from looking at the different bindings of these books. So you looked around, didn't see anything. You see Ryder, as you're kind of looking at all the papers, he looks under it. Oh, what's this? And he presses a button, and directly in front of you, there's a brief flash. And you can see into the courtyard of the first floor.
Okay, so he's got a way to keep an eye on the front door.
You can make a general intelligence check, or an arcana check, actually. 13. This is definitely a type of illusionary magic. What it is there seems to be a glass pane work where the photo is, the massive picture of Karn, and there was illusory magic implanted into it for you to see through it during certain circumstances. So as a result, you can see through it, but you get the feeling that anybody that was on the outside wouldn't be able to see through it.
Can I take a look at where he touched underneath?
Yeah, you look under, and it's just a button directly underneath the middle of
I
it.
don't see the sigil.
No, it's literally just a mechanism that seems to be there. Anything else you do in this room?
If I went to the other bookshelf, would I find the same?
You would find similar types of books in there, yeah. You can see, based off of looking around as well, the papers seem to have been rummaged through before Felix has gotten there. And apart from that, you don't see anything else useful.
I'm guessing the statue was just...
Exactly the same. You go up, you shove it this time with way more force, just so that you feel tone of vibration due to the force you put into it, but nothing else.
No extra reverberation or
No,
anything?
nothing abnormal.
On to the next room then.
So the one up there? Because there's so let me move paper somewhat, just so that way you can see what I'm talking about. There are 2 rooms.
Yeah, just so the closest one that we
Isn't there
can
another
find.
doorway down there?
No, there's not.
Okay.
Not on that wall. That's something else inside that room.
Okay.
So you guys go into that room then? Okay, I can get rid of all this paper.
And this is where we learn he can look through the bookcase too. He's real paranoid.
So you guys go in through this door here?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'll roll my arcane.
Okay, well, I'm going to describe the room initially right when you get in. So what you see is this seems to be where they're storing ornamental weaponry. Directly in front of you is what looks to be a suit of armor. It has several different green portions of it, and it's very durable. It looks to be a medium breastplate armor. The walls have 2 very ornamental long swords that kind of just hang off the sides with pegs onto them. And you can see there's a shield as well with ornaments directly there. 2 books that have about 50% of their shelves filled.
When I look around at the ornamental weapons and stuff, does anything pop out as familiar right away? I've seen the patterns on them before.
Just make an intelligence check, because you're not proficient in either of the skills that I would have chosen.
I'm not proficient
in intelligence.
That's 13.
13? You look at it, and you're trying to analyze the detail to it. Though it's very nice and ornamental, you've definitely not seen a pattern like this before. Not on the statues or anything like that. Seem to be unique. Okay, so for first, Arcana.
15.
15? You gather, looking around, you don't spot anything specific, although you can tell that the armor is made of adamantium. A very powerful metal. The shield is made of similar metal, and the swords themselves look to be ornamental and not generally useful in Arcana magics.
And then investigation is 22.
22. Apart from that, you can look at the armor. It's essentially on what looks to be like a stand, so there's actually nothing in it itself. The leggings and the chest piece and the helmet are all kind of there, along with the arms. Looking around, you don't spot anything. The bookshelves, reading up on what they look like, they just look to be weapons manuals and different kinds of like contraption-based books. So a lot of tinkering type of behavior.
Do I get the source of any of them are like trap-based? Tinkering.
You get the feeling that there is definitely a few that might talk about remedial traps. Nothing too sophisticated. You get the casual spike pit, the one about the tripwire by the door, and also it talks about like secret passages type of behavior. So like things that are hidden on bookshelves. Very stereotypical kind of children's books of sorts to talk about them. They're nothing sophisticated.
Okay. But so as we guess, he does have knowledge of secret passages.
As far as from the books, yes, there seem to be at least somebody was researching them. Whether or not they used them, you're not necessarily too sure. You haven't found anything similar.
You know he has the knowledge.
You know he has the knowledge of remedial ones, yes.
Which is important.
True.
I would say next room.
Okay. So...
I don't think Ryder. Is Ryder going to do his role?
Yeah, he'll make them too. That's not good. Ooh, that's doubly not good for either of them. So he looks around. Man, pretty magical. Waits to see if there's any laughter. Nothing. Okay. And he goes in looking around. He goes up to the suit and starts to like look at it. Looking at everything. You're over by the books as well. Apart from that, he's like looking at it, keeping kind of a general close eye, looks up it, looks at the metal. Stuff is pretty neat.
Yes, it is.
That's about it.
It's a lot neater than you think.
What is it?
That's adamantine.
I mean, probably take it, huh?
I would say let's not take it right now. If we find nothing else about you in this house, we can come back.
Well, we know that.
Because right now, we want to make as little disturbance as possible.
Just make a persuasion check. Just because it's Ryder. And he's got a bag of holding.
I think in this situation, Jordan would forego Ryder's greed
14.
and know the task at hand.
No, yeah, I was just seeing how persuasive he would be. I wasn't gonna actually have him be like a contest or anything. Looks at it. That's fair. No, that's fair. I'm really the only one out of you two that can even wear it anyways, and I got my nice, sweet Mariner's armor on. So, you go up to the door.
Oh, is that heavy armor?
No, it's medium armor. It's the best kind of medium armor possible.
I can wear it.
Can you?
As a paladin, yeah.
Oh, I mean, yeah, you could wear it
You
then.
can wear heavy armor as a paladin.
Not
No.
multi-classed. Multi-classed
Not
only gives you
paladin-
medium armor.
Not paladin sorcerer. I can go up to medium armor and martial weapons.
And shields. That's the
And
only
shields,
reason that she
yes.
can even hold a shield.
Is that the armor that will give you disadvantage on stealth?
Adamantium will.
Or, yeah.
Breastplate will. However, you become immune to critical hits.
Yeah, that's a big part of it.
So even if you get hit critically,
Damn.
you just take a normal hit.
Damn.
It's pretty nice.
However, again, I don't want to disturb anything.
I mean, it's true. Could put it on too. It's up to you. It's not like the suits before where they're like actually like on a statue. These are on like a weapons rack kind of deal.
Would looking at it, would Jacqueline know like what it would do?
I mean, at this
For her?
point, she knows it's good
Um,
armor.
Well, let me get make you would know because you've been looking into like shields before. Let me get to my armor page. Oh, I was also wrong. It's not half plate's the one that gives you disadvantage. So it's the second best next to scale mail.
Mm-hmm.
It will give you a 14 armor class plus your dex, and then any other modifiers to that as well. The dex up to 2. So, what's your dex right now?
My dex is +2.
So, by putting it on, you would be at an armor class of 18. And also become immune to critical hits.
She'll decide not worth it right now because who knows?
Fair enough. So you guys are going to exit the room, and as you do, the door doesn't move. You push at the door, as everyone else's has, doesn't budge. So we're going to pause with this. We're going to go down to downstairs. So that way we can explore some of their rooms, as they would have been doing it in the meantime. Yes. Yep, we're close. We're getting to a good point. I just want to do some of their investigation first, and then we'll cut in here in a second. Why? Because...
I said why?
What? Okay. Oh my god, I'm tangled. Okay, so you guys are investigating this room. When you go inside, it is a very, very bustling closet.
Hey, cool. We found a closet, guys.
It's got pretty nice suits up inside. Some of them are coats for colder days. Nice, good couple pairs of shoes.
I try to see if one of the jackets fit on me.
Make a you could. There's like 6. You could check.
No, I'm not gonna do that.
Okay.
Go on, Clover. I think one of them look good on you.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Alright, let's get it.
Okay, you don't need to roll. You can find them because you're not like in a rush or anything. You just like sort through them. They're all relatively your height.
Nice.
They seem to have been tailored towards somebody of your similar height that you might have known before.
I'll keep it on.
Okay, yeah. So now Gopher's wearing fancy clothes, which is pretty funny. Are you wearing leather armor?
I'm wearing studded armor.
Studded leather armor?
Yes.
Okay, I was just curious because that would still affect your whole deal. Okay. So, other than that, there's really nothing else going on in this room.
Should we check the back room, guys?
Is there a room right next to it?
Yep, right up.
We'll go
Directly,
check
no.
that room. Oh,
Scares?
the hallway is what you're talking about?
No, this one right here.
Oh, yeah. You guys down to go check that room?
I'm down. Scares?
Said there's suits and stuff hanging in here.
Oh yeah, there's like 5 or 6 suits. Some of them are like heavier, thicker coats meant for outdoor winter times. Clearly this is like a utility closet meant for, guests and self-use for like going outside type of behavior.
Tired of this sad robe. I want something fancier. I want to put on this suit.
Okay, yeah, you put on basically what looks to be like a black blazer.
Yes.
Yeah. You can also see there's a good couple pairs of shoes as well off to the side if you wanted any of those.
Come on,
Very
Scares.
good, yes. Very
Please, dress
fancy,
up.
happy with all.
What's your height? What's your height,
I
Gopher?
am 6'5".
You're what?
6'5".
You're 6'5". These are tiny in comparison to you. These are easily like 5 feet or 5 inches shorter than you.
No.
They're probably a good size or two too short.
You're also 40 pounds.
No. Scares.
I steal them anyway.
Okay, yeah, you take them and you kind of just put it on
No.
just to like wear it. It's pretty compacted, tight, a little bit uncomfortable, but you still have free range of movement, but it is clearly noticeable that this does not fit you in any sort of fashion.
Okay, if you rip it, it'll be fine.
Alright, next room.
Alright, so heading into the other room. It is a small closet, once again, that's in front of you. However, upon entering it, you can tell that it is a shelf full of preservable foods. You see a couple of cans, one of which has corn on it.
Ooh.
You are told to watch out for pictures of corn.
Yeah. I see one on the can. No, I'm just kidding. I see one on
Don't
the
you
can.
shake your head at
I
me.
just close my eyes and don't look at it.
That's what I was laughing at before. It's just like,
Pictures.
there's pictures of corn in there.
I grab the can of corn, give it to Gopher. Gopher, open this.
I don't want it.
Open this.
I don't want it.
Open it.
You don't want it.
Alright, I take it and open it for him and hand it back.
Okay, make an athletics check.
Alright. Can't even open it. With the fucking 19.
Alright, you dig your hand in, you peel back. It is fresh, preserved corn. You kind of have to dump out some of the juices, but other than that, it's pretty...
Is there a spoon around?
I
mean,
take a piece and hand it.
Does not
the
seem
whole
to be
can.
in... Yeah, he takes out a single piece of corn and hands you the can.
You just opened up that can with your bare hands.
It
What
is-
the fuck?
It is the second time that he has done this.
Yeah.
You didn't see it before.
No, Zacchaeus has never seen it before.
Alright, so
Yes.
food. It's the
Spend
food
one.
cupboard. Let's
That's a good quick
Yeah, you can see that there's like a crate and a barrel sitting on top of it. The barrel seems to have like a spig into it, a spigot.
So should we check the room across from us now?
yeah.
So which one? There's this one over in this corner.
This one.
This one?
Yeah, well, yeah.
Scares?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
Oh, I'll put the corn back.
You put the corn back. Opened.
Opened.
The
An
open one.
opened can of corn.
Evidence?
I'll take that can of corn. I'll just carry it with me for
So as you guys are leaving, Zacchaeus has a can of corn in one hand. Just know that you have one hand filled by corn.
Nice.
very good.
It is filled with the hatred of Karn in your hand, filled with corn.
Oh, this is a big room.
It is a massive room, and it is a recognizable room. You see immediately in front of you two carts that look identical that you have seen before.
Dude.
They don't look identical to each other. They are carts
like
that you
ones
look
we've seen.
that you've seen. It is, in fact, the beige, luxurious cart that was to hold the Grand Maven, and also the cart that held Mean Mead's barrels. As you can see, a few barrels are fully opened and left on the side. There's a smattering of a few gold coins around it as well.
Karis? No, not Karis. Gopher? No. We'll have, these are bad barrels.
I remember these barrels.
They are all empty.
Alright, you say there's coins laying around?
All around it. There's like maybe about 10 or 15 gold coins just layered around it.
I'll pick those up.
Yeah, I was gonna pick them up too.
Okay, so you guys pick up the gold coins. In the corner here, you can see there is a far more amount of barrels, or not barrels, crates. There's like, so these are just normal crates. These have crates that have 3 stacks on top of them.
Oh, okay.
And then this one has just 2.
Gopher.
Up against the wall.
Check the crate. Look inside.
I think
Well, I
you
hand him the 5 gold to Zacchaeus. You said 15 gold.
Yep,
right?
15 gold.
3-way split.
Yeah, 3-way split
I
there.
think you guys should be careful of that cart. The beige cart especially.
We know about this beige card.
Alright, so I'll go investigate the crates.
The crates?
Yeah.
Okay, looking behind you, Rex, as well, you can tell that this is kind of like a different colored brick walling with the same handle that was underneath before.
I try to lift it up after I read
From this side, it's a lot easier, and you're actually able to lift it up easily, and the entirety of this portion opens up, and you can see outside.
Shut that.
Okay, time to slowly close this.
Yeah,
open.
you close it. It seems that this was meant to bring in carts, which are massive vehicles that are not normally brought inside indoors. So you're investigating the crates?
Yep.
Okay. Are you moving them at all, or are you just opening the top?
I'll open.
Because there's 3 without crates on top
Okay,
of
so
them.
I'll move the 3 stacks onto the floor, but like investigate. I'll investigate all.
Okay, so you just want to move them all and then...
And open up.
See what's in them.
Okay. So yeah, you move all the things so that we can kind of investigate all of them. Make 2 rolls, make athletics checks and investigation check.
Alright, so I'll do 22 athletics
Okay, easily you're able to rip open the tops of these things with your bare fucking hands.
and natural 1 for investigation.
Alright, so you see
lot of
Rex
wood.
and Zacchaeus make investigation checks as well. Just because I think it'd be funny.
11.
Okay.
11.
Okay. You two see this because it's very openly obvious. After Gopher has ripped open,
So
because this would have taken some time as well.
So probably.
Ripped open all the barrels, or not all the barrels, all the crates into
probably.
different portions. I'm just gonna say that you probably layered them 2 by 2 instead of like having some of them be 3s. They have random bits of like cloth and food, perishable foods inside of them that seem to have been rotted. And right here, Zacchaeus and Rex, as Gopher has moved all the crates and not turned around at all, there seems to be a small digit in the wall right here.
Whoa. It's been a while.
It's been a while. It's like right there's a small digit. And then at that point, the torch sconces in this room go dark red. And then we go over to upstairs.
Oh, shit.
I'm not going to move the map because we're going to cut it after I give you a brief description. You go for the door, and as you kind of push against it, there's nothing that happens. The torch sconces that are in this room go dark red, and the entirety of this room turns into a red tint. You hear behind you just as the suit of metal that is there, the adamantine armor, comes into contact and forms into a humanoid creature. Directly on the wall next to you, you hear some vibration, and the sword dashes towards Felix. The shield lifts off the wall, and the opposing sword also unhinges. At this point, we're going to call that an evening. So thank you everyone so much for playing. Thank you everyone so much for watching. And next session, when we meet up in another 3 weeks, you guys get to explore the second part of this mansion.
Dog side.
The active side of this mansion.
That's why I was trying to take the sword from the statue.
I wonder who triggered the accident.
I should have taken the armor.
No, actually.
Oh, really?
Because the moment you would have put it on, you would have been inside the armor, and it still would have taken control, and there would have been a whole different type of fight.
Oh,
They would have been hitting the armor if they hit too low of an AC, but it reached your AC of 15, because you wouldn't be having your shield. You would be taking damage, the armor would have. But if they rolled high enough to hit the armor, you would take half damage, while the armor would be taking full. So it would be a completely different dynamic to the fight.
Cool. Wait, so we're fighting like living armor?
Yeah, that's literally what it's called too.
Okay.
Yeah, living adamantine armor.
We don't know it.
You don't know shit.
You know,
When you guys separated, I was terrified. I'm like, oh god. Oh no. You three are still technically invisible. However, it doesn't seem that the objects near you care.
Cares at all?
Oh, God.
Oh, good.
Anyways, thank you everyone so much for listening. I'm excited about next session now, because... I
hate you.
Alright, we will be seeing you guys again on another misrolled adventure. Have a nice night.
Ciao.